Hello fellow gamers, welcome to Azreality Gaming. My name is Dustin, and today we're going to be asking the question, is Octopath Traveler still worth playing in 2021? So for the last 6 weeks or so, I have been streaming this on Twitch, so I've only played a little over 25 hours of the game, so nowhere near finishing it just yet. But I still wanted to share my thoughts with you and find out whether or not it really is worth playing in 2021. Octopath Traveler is developed by Square Enix and released on the Switch in July of 2018, and then later on Steam in June 2019. The game is a turn-based RPG that has a little heavy storyline influence to it. It's similar to other 16-bit kind of RPGs from the Super Nintendo era, Sega Genesis, PSX, like Breath of the Fires, Tales of Destiny, older Final Fantasies like the 3 and 2, and staying true to those graphics, the 16-bit style, but the game also has kind of an HD element to it, where you add in the HD environmental effects, moving shadows, depth of field. All these things help to draw you in and make you feel like the game's a little bit more immersed than a traditional 16-bit game. Now, I'm not saying you should feel completely immersed and, expect a 3D quality immersion there, but go with me on this one. It actually looks really good. Most people that I've talked to about this game, the first thing they do point out is the graphics. It's so enjoyable to be able to watch these sprites interact across the screen with all the HD elements behind it. Sometimes the graphics, though, can get in the way of seeing certain parts of the terrain, such as a pathway or a door. This might be by design in order to hide a secret entrance or a chest, but not all graphically impeded spots on the screen lead to something magical, rather just the next zone, so you have to kind of pay attention to that. It's very minor, but just trying to be as upfront with you as I can about my experience. The main premise of the game is that there's 8 different characters, and each character has their own unique storyline. There's no main protagonist in this game, so if you're looking for like one big baddie boss that you gotta fight at the end, that's not how it works. All 8 stories have similar patterns too, by the way, so when you're actually playing the game, you'll start noticing when I pick up this character, he's got a path that he goes about trying to solve. Same thing with the next one, and the next one, and the next one. By the 5th or 6th character, if you get the option to kind of skip some of the initial intro storyline part that takes about an hour of just clicking buttons, I highly recommend it. That's what I did. You still get the gist of what the storyline is all about, and you can get into the meat of the next parts of the game. Whoever you choose at the beginning is the character you'll have with you until the end, and their storyline is the main one that you'll be working towards. You can experience most of the other 7 character storylines, but not the final bits, which are reserved for your main. This makes the replayability a nice option should you want to do this long-ass game over and over again. The combat of the game is actually really enjoyable. There's a boost system in the game where you're allowed to save up kind of like turn points, if you will, that you can then unleash 2 or 3 actions at the same time, which is actually very nice to be able to see that. It helps with regards to breaking their shields and stunning the different monsters that you're fighting. Shield break is another system in the game that I really liked about this. It kind of harkens back to Final Fantasy 13 when you're trying to bust through those shields that they have so that you can stun them and then do more damage to them. It actually weakens them. Each monster is also vulnerable to specific types of attacks and weapons, so pay attention to that when you're playing the game. Also, each character has their own unique skill sets and abilities. Some of these abilities can be shared as a job class system once you find a specific job class temple, but not all of the abilities are shared. For example, you might give your healer the steal job ability, but that doesn't give them the ability to steal outside of combat, like the thief character can do. But the range and diversity of customization with the job classes makes for some interesting gameplay, so check it out. The leveling path at times can feel a bit wonky, and not as streamlined as I would expect. You can go from a level 10 zone right into a level 20 plus zone, but not find another level 15 zone that you might need to grind into until after that level 20 zone, for example. This is probably because of the nature of 8 different characters and storylines lining up differently at times than the path of your main character. It's something that you gotta watch out for and keep that in mind. The bosses in this game are actually quite fun. They're very intense, I would say. Some are easier than others, of course, but they do require some strategy to defeat. You can't just go willy-nilly knocking, all your attack spells on a person all at once. You've got to strategize. You've got to think about, okay, do I defend here at this moment? Or do I not attack? Or do I cast a spell or not cast a spell? Some of these bosses took me forever to be able to beat. I may have been playing it a bit too conservative, but when these bosses have millions of hit points, for a level 10 character, you don't have the luxury of just YOLOing it and hoping you live. You actually have to heal. You have to play defensive at times. You have to think about when I need to break the shield or what attack the boss might do next in order to prepare. I would go through 20 plus of these SP potions, which are basically mana potions, per boss fight through healing and magical attacks. Some bosses will summon adds every so often, and if you don't deal with those, you'll wipe. And that's nothing about it. You're dead. And nothing pisses you off more than spending 45 minutes on a boss fight just to wipe to the ads the last little bit, or to some random boss combination. Now, this might just be because I'm a terrible player and didn't ensure my characters were properly geared or had the right combination of characters in my party, but if I have a problem with it and haven't looked at any walkthroughs about this, then I imagine others probably suffer the same problem. Did you also experience long boss battles? Let me know. To summarize my thoughts on whether you should play Octopath Traveler in 2021, I think the graphics are great. They really draw you in. For those 16-bit geeks out there that love those kind of games, this is right up your alleyway. You will enjoy that. The combat is very fulfilling. I do enjoy the different mechanics of it. The leveling process is, at times a little wonky, but it's still very rewarding when you do level because you have to earn it. And the boss fights, while exceedingly long, are fun and challenging. The only real downside I can see to the game is the storyline. It can be a bit repetitive at times, but it is all about 8 different characters. So, try to get into it in the way you can. Ignore the part that, are repetitive, and just enjoy the story unfold in front of you. It's quite enjoyable so far. So there you have it. I believe you should play this game in 2021. I think this game could be rewarding in 2022, 2023. It doesn't really matter how many years forward you go. You can always be able to play this game, pick this game up. It does occasionally go on sale on Steam, so I would check it out there, and also on the Switch shop as well. Try to find it at a discount. It doesn't happen very often, I've noticed, but when you do, jump on it because it definitely is worth it. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you like retro to modern day game reviews, tips and tricks, those kinds of things. And I also do stream on Twitch on the weekends, so if you want to watch me play things like Octopath Traveler or other old retro games, check me out there. And until then, we'll see you guys next time.